Om. Om. Om Sahanao Avatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Today's first topic is, why should we learn Gita? It's a very important one. What do people usually mean when they speak of being well educated? Most of the time, they are referring to conventional education, the type of education we receive from schools, colleges, and universities. It trains us to think logically, to communicate well, and to develop skills that help us earn money and build careers. This education is certainly useful. There is no question on that. With it, one can earn a comfortable living, enjoy luxuries, travel the world, and take care of family, friends, and society. So, the primary goal of conventional education is to increase our material comforts and social companionship. Now, let us take the example of Arjun, the mighty warrior prince from the Mahabharata. He had mastered the highest form of conventional education for his time. He was an expert archer, wealthy, well traveled, admired by all, and loved by his many wives and children. People looked up to him as the perfect example of success. In today's world, there are many people like Arjun, well educated, intelligent, wealthy, and powerful. And yet, even Arjun was shaken to the core when life presented him with a major crisis. Despite all his qualifications, he broke down in the face of tragedy. And then the question is, why it happened? Because Arjun had not yet received the higher wisdom, the spiritual knowledge revealed by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gītā. Conventional education prepares us to succeed in the outer world. But when difficulties arise, such as personal loss, failure, disease, or emotional pain, this education cannot help us much. Many people, even those with great achievements, fall apart when things do not go according to plan. We need something more. We need the inner wisdom that teaches us how to live with peace, courage, and joy, no matter what life throws at us. This wisdom is given in the Bhagavad Gītā. It does not just teach us how to earn a living, it teaches us how to live. The word encourages us to increase our standard of living. But the Gita teaches us to increase the quality of our life. So the first one teaches increase our standard of living. But the Gita teaches us increase the quality of our life. Now, let me give you an example here. A person may look healthy today, but if they wait until they fall seriously ill to start exercising, it may be too late. In the same way, one should not wait for a tragedy to occur before learning how to face it. That knowledge must be gained early. While the body is still strong and the mind is clear. There is a old saying, we do not dig a well after the house catches fire. We must prepare beforehand. The Gita gives us that preparation. When we understand its teachings, our outlook changes. Life will still bring ups and downs, success and failure, joy and sorrow, gain and loss. But we will not be disturbed by them. We will see them as natural events and face them calmly. Without this knowledge, even a small problem may feel like a big crisis. With this knowledge, even a big crisis becomes just another situation to be handled wisely. This is the power of inner strength. Conventional education is like a tool that helps us increase outer comfort and reduce some problems. But it cannot protect us from the deeper sufferings of life. Life will always move in pairs, like light and dark, victory and defeat, birth and death. This is the law of nature. Even though we know this truth deep down, we all know everything very clearly. We secretly hope that only good things should happen to us. But when difficulties do arise, we are caught unprepared. This is why so many people break down under pressure. They have never learned how to manage pain. The Bhagavad Gītā does not promise to remove difficulties from our lives. Instead, it gives us the inner tools to face life with strength, clarity, and peace. But remember, if we try to learn this higher knowledge after we are already suffering, the mind may be too disturbed to absorb it. That is why it is essential to learn this wisdom while we are still young, healthy, and mentally alert. To summarize, most people believe that being well educated means getting good degrees, building a career, and earning money. That is helpful for, of course. It helps us take care of ourselves and our families. But life is not always smooth. There will be pain, loss, failure, and moments when the heart feels heavy. And during those times, your regular education won't be enough. Now, the question is, so what should a jeev like us do each day to live a truly spiritual life? Number one, do not depend only on outer success. That's the number one point. Do not depend only on outer success. Yes, you have to work hard, study well, earn and live decently. Gita never says don't do these things. But do not think this is everything. Arjun was great in every way, but he is still broke down when faced with a deep life crisis. That means outer skills are not enough. Number two, begin learning spiritual wisdom now. Do not wait. Just like we should not wait for a disease to start exercising, do not wait for a crisis to start your spiritual path. While you are young, healthy, and clear minded, start studying the Bhagavad Gita and living its teachings. Number three, prepare the mind before life's problems come. If you wait until your mind is filled with fear and sorrow, it will be too hard to think clearly. That is why daily spiritual practice is important. Like digging a well before the fire breaks out, be ready. Point number four, focus on inner strength, not just comfort. Life moves in pairs. Happiness and sorrow, gain and loss, health and illness. These will come and go. What we need is the strength to stay balanced, no matter what. Point number 5, let the Gita guide our thoughts and actions. The Gita does not promise a life without problems, but it gives us the tools to face every challenge with calmness. Read even a few verses daily or just a one verse daily. Reflect on them. Slowly, you will see life with new eyes. Your perception will change. Remember, it is not just about earning a living, it is about learning how to live. So the message is, it is not just about earning a living, it is about learning how to live. Build your outer life, but also build your inner world. That is where real peace and joy come from. In short, start now. Make time every day to grow in wisdom. Walk the spiritual path with dedication. Fill your heart with the teachings of the Gita. That is the way a Jeev should live, strong outside, peaceful inside. And that is true education. Now we move to the second topic, an overview of four Vedas. The essence of the Vedas and the message of the Gita. Sit down with a calm mind and listen with your heart open. Why I'm saying this? Because if you are not listening with a calm mind and open heart, and on the top of that, you're filtering the information what I am saying, then you are not receiving the information, first of all, correctly as you should listen. That's why I'm just repeating this sentence. Sit down with a calm mind and listen with your heart open. Today, I will explain to you something very precious, the connection between the Bhagavad Gita and the four great Vedas. And what are these Vedas names? Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Sam Ved, and Atharva Ved. These are four Vedas. Now, first understand this clearly. Ved means knowledge, not just ordinary knowledge of worldly things, but the divine knowledge that shows us how to live and why we are here and what our ultimate purpose is. The Gita is like the essence or the heart of all these four Vedas. Because we do not have time to read all the Vedas and try to understand. So the Bhagavad Gita is just in essence or in short summary or the heart of all four Vedas. Just as butter is hidden within milk, just as butter is hidden within milk, the Gita holds the spiritual truth that the Vedas want us to realize. One of the sacred Upanishads, which are the concluding parts of the Vedas, tells us the true goal of the Vedas, and it is threefold. Number one, to take us from ignorance to wisdom, means from darkness to light. Number two, from death to immortality. Now, this sentence is very important. From death to immortality, and from untruth to truth. It is very beautiful to hear, to listen. The purpose of all this divine teaching is to lift us up so that we do not live like lost wanderers, but walk the path of clarity, freedom, and truth. Now we will talk about the special gift of human life. Among all living beings on this earth, humans are the most special. Now you will ask why? Because we are self aware. Note down the word aware. We do not just eat, sleep, and act on instincts. We can ask questions like, who am I? Why am I here? What is the meaning of life? This ability to reflect is called self awareness. And it is the seed from which our higher intelligence grows. So awareness word is very, very important to understand. What does it mean? This higher intelligence, thinking mind is like a powerful tool or an instrument. But just like any sophisticated machine, it needs a user manual to operate properly. You would not try to fly a plane or run a complex machine without guidance. In the same way, the Vedas are the divine user manual for our body, mind, intellect complex. If we follow them, we will know how to live with wisdom, balance, and peace. Now we will talk about on the next topic. Science gives comforts, the Vedas give fulfillment. Modern science has given us many material comforts, fast transport, easy communication, more food, entertainment, and even space travel. But despite all this progress, many people still feel lost, lonely, anxious, and empty inside. Now the question comes, why it is happening? Because they have not opened this divine user manual that explains how to live well, not just how to live comfortably. Remember this truth. A high standard of living is not the same as a high quality life. Quality of life comes when we live in tune with truth, purpose, and inner peace. This is what the Vedas and the Gita want to teach us. Now we will talk about dharma, which is the foundation of right living. At the center of all Vedic teachings lies one sacred word, dharma, means that which sustains or that which upholds life. It is the natural law that keeps the universe in order. Just like a tree stands upright only when its roots are strong and nourished. We humans can stand tall and live rightly only when we follow dharma. Dharma shows us what is right, what is kind, what is just, and what is helpful to all beings. If we forget dharma, everything collapses. Relationships, society, and even nature. Now we are going a little more deeper now about the dharms. There are two types of dharma, active dharma and passive dharma. So first we will talk about active dharma. This is the dharma of action. It teaches us how to live and act in the world with honesty, service, discipline, devotion, and compassion. This portion is found in the beginning sections of the Vedas called Veda Purva. Now, the second dharma is passive dharma. This is the dharma of realization. It teaches us how to withdraw the senses, go inward, meditate, and realize the self or God. This wisdom is found in the ending part of the Vedas called Vedant. It doesn't mean the end of the Vedas, but it is the end section of the book or Vedas or Vedant, which means the end of knowledge. Not because learning ends, but because nothing higher remains to be known after this. Vedant includes the 108 main Upanishads, which are like golden keys to the inner kingdom of truth. Now we will talk about the divisions of active dharma. Active dharma is also divided into ordinary dharma and special dharma. Ordinary dharma means the common duties for everyone. Speaking truth, being kind, not harming others, serving parents, etc., etc. The second is spatial dharma, the duties based on our role in life, the duties based on our role in life as a parent, as a student, as a teacher, as a leader, etc., or in special circumstances. So, the Gita is not just a book, it is a mirror, a map, and a master key to unlock the deep meaning of life. It is the summary of the Vedas, which are the voice of eternal wisdom. Let us not neglect this treasure. Let us learn, reflect, and live by these divine teachings, so we may walk from confusion to clarity, from bondage to freedom, and from temporary joys to everlasting peace. This is the sacred journey from manhood to godhood, from being lost in the world to being established in the self. And that's what we want. We all want to move from manhood to godhood. Now, we shall understand the subtle difference between ordinary dharma and special dharma. These are not just concepts in scriptures, they are guiding lights of for our daily life. Ordinary dharma is a universal path. This type of dharma is eternal and unchanging. It is the same for all human beings, no matter which country they live in, what language they speak, or what age they belong to. It is like the foundation of a house is strong, stable, and necessary for all. So, this ordinary dharma includes simple truths like do not steal, do not hurt others, speak kindly, be honest. Now, you may ask, but how do I know what ordinary dharma is? And the answer is very simple. Ask yourself how you wish others to treat you. That is the foundation for ordinary dharma. If you do not like someone speaking to you rudely, then do not speak rudely to them either. If you feel hurt when someone disrespects you, then avoid disrespecting others. This golden rule, treat others as you would like to be treated, is the very heart of ordinary dharma. This kind of dharma is naturally known to all. Even a child knows that hitting or lying is wrong without needing a book to teach them. It is built into our conscience. That is why it is called ordinary. Not because it is less important, but because it is universal and commonly understood by all. Now we come to the next one, spatial dharma. It is a personal path. Unlike the universal, ordinary dharma, special dharma is personal, situational, and constantly changing. It depends on who you are, which means your current role in life, where you are, in which surroundings you are now, when it is the time or age you live in. Let me give you an example. A student's dharma is to study sincerely. A doctor's dharma is to care for patients and save lives. A father's dharma is to provide for and protect his family. A soldier's dharma is to defend the nation even at great risk. These duties are not the same for everyone, and they also change with time. For example, in the past, abortion was not allowed. Today, in many places, it is accepted under certain conditions. Wearing jeans and t shirts may be fine at home or a party, but perhaps not respectful while attending a formal college event. Essential service workers, like doctors, police, or firemen, may not be allowed to go on strike, even if others can, because their absence could harm society. This is why spatial dharma must be practiced with awareness of our role. I'm emphasizing awareness again. This is why spatial dharma must be practiced with awareness of our role, place, and time. When the two dharmas clash, ordinary dharma and special dharma. Now you must be thinking, or you may be having a question in your mind, what if my ordinary dharma says one thing, but my special dharma says another? In such cases, special dharma takes priority. Now let me explain this through an example. Ordinary dharma teaches us not to hurt or kill. But what if a police officer under legal orders is asked to shoot a dangerous criminal to protect innocent lives? In that case, his special dharma as a law officer overrules the general rule of non-violence. This does not mean the officer enjoys violence. It means he is fulfilling his duty with a heavy heart, knowing it is necessary for the greater good. Always remember, ordinary dharma is about what all humans should follow. Universal values like truth, kindness, and non harming. Special dharma is about what you must follow based on your life role, the place you live in, and the needs of the time. By understanding and balancing both, your life becomes aligned with righteousness. And in that alignment, peace and clarity blossom like the lotus in a quiet pond. Now go forth with this wisdom and let Dharma guide your every step. Now we will try to explore more on active Dharma versus passive Dharma. This is what we had discussed very early. In the journey of life, our ancient scriptures speak of two types of dharma: active dharma and passive dharma. Both are important and both serve a specific purpose in guiding human being toward a complete and joyful life. What is active dharma? Active dharma is the path of action. It tells us what we should do and what we should avoid. It comes in the form of rules and duties, the do's and do nots of life. This type of dharma is focused on how we live in the world, how we interact with others, how we contribute to society, and how we build a meaningful life through righteous actions. Examples of active dharms are, we already discussed this: be honest, do not harm others, take care of your family, help those in need. These duties help us live like noble human beings, much higher than animals who act only by instinct. Now, even if a few people fail to follow this path, this is very important to note. Even if a few people fail to follow this path, the world can still progress. If the majority of people live rightly, why? Because the results of action affect the larger society. If most people are honest, kind, and hardworking, their actions can make up for the few who go astray. And that's why the society is still surviving, because still there are too many good people in the world. Let me give you a historical example here. We are all aware of this situation, this scenario. The Mongols often invaded China and disturbed the peace. But the Chinese rulers acted wisely. They built the Great Wall of China to protect the people. Because of the actions of the wise and courageous majority, peace and progress were preserved. This is the strength of active dharma. It is social, it is collective, and it uplifts the community. Now let us understand a little bit more on the passive dharma. Passive dharma is different. It is not about action, but about knowledge. It comes from Vedant, the wisdom section of our Vedas. This dharma is personal and inward. It cannot be done for you by someone else. You have to do yourself. You must learn, reflect, and realize this knowledge yourself. No one can hand it to you. And what kind of knowledge is this? It is about who am I? What is the purpose of life? Why I am here? Why do I suffer? How can I find true happiness? These deep questions are answered in the teachings of Vedanta. But not everyone is ready for this knowledge immediately. One must first live a life of active dharma. Now, when we are talking active dharma here, in true sense, we are talking karma yoga, performing right actions and purifying the mind. We are not doing things for our own self, we are doing things for the community. Only a mature and calm mind can grasp the subtle teachings of Vedanta. Why do we need both active dharma and passive dharma? Because active dharma helps you live a good life in society. Passive dharma helps you understand the truth of life and free yourself from sufferings. Most animals live by instinct. They do not ask, why am I unhappy? Or what happens after death? But we, the human beings, are gifted with self awareness. We are all aware of everything happening around us. This gift also brings a problem because we are aware we suffer. We feel anxiety, fear, jealousy, anger. These emotions are unique to humans, and Vedanta teaches us how to rise above them. That is why the Vedas first teach active dharma to build a life of discipline and values. Preparation. Then they teach passive dharma, the path of knowledge. Here we are talking Jnana Yoga, to find lasting peace and inner joy. We have talked about Vedas. Now let us talk about what is the role of the Gita then. A beautiful secret. The Bhagavad Gita is not an ordinary book. We have already learned it is the essence of all four Vedas. It teaches both active dharma and passive dharma. Active dharma is like karma yoga and passive dharma is like jnana yoga. That is why the Gita is often called the fifth Ved. If you study and understand the Gita deeply, it is as if you have understood the heart of all the Vedas. And the result of this understanding is what we all seek. What we all seek? A life of inner joy, clarity, and fulfillment. Bliss, Anand. So to summarize, first, I shall tell you how a jiva can live a truly spiritual life. When I say jiva, we individual beings, human beings, not just for outer success, but for inner peace and divine connection. So, what we need to do? First, know the purpose of life. Always remember, you are not just a body or a mind. You are a soul, a spark of the divine. This human life is rare and precious because it allows you to ask deep questions like, who am I? Why am I here? What is the truth of my life? Number two, follow dharma at every step. And as I mentioned before, there are two types of dharma: ordinary dharma and special dharma. Ordinary dharma, these are universal values. Be truthful, do not hurt anyone, speak kindly, serve your parents, respect others. These are the strong roots of a spiritual life. The basics before you move to the special dharma. And what is the special dharma? These are duties based on your role. If you are a student, study well. If you are a parent, protect and guide your family. Each person's duty is different. Know your role, time, and place, and act accordingly. Number three, balance action and realization. There are two parts here: active dharma and passive dharma. Active dharma is karma yoga. Do the right actions with honesty, discipline, compassion, and without selfishness. Help others. Be responsible and contribute to society. This purifies your heart. And what is passive dharma? Jnana yoga. Spend quiet time daily in reflection, meditation, or study of spiritual wisdom. Ask, who am I? Seek knowledge of the self. This brings inner awakening. Both paths are important. Action makes your life meaningful, knowledge makes your soul free. You can do Gyan Yoga, but unless and until you do the Karma Yoga, you will not be making use of Gyan Yoga 100%. You cannot easily. It will be like one in a million. The Bhagavad number four is use the Gita as your guide. The Bhagavad Gita is the heart of all the Vedas. It is not just a holy book, it is a mirror, a map, and a guide. Read even one verse a day with faith and reflect on it deeply. Let it show you the way. Number five, live by the golden rule. Treat others the way you wish to be treated. If you do not like harsh words, do not speak them. If you want love, give love. This simple rule is the core of dharma. Number six, stay mindful of time and situation. Dharma changes with time, place, and context. Always ask, what is the right thing now, here, and in this role? Be alert, be thoughtful, do not just follow blindly, understand and act wisely. Follow dharma, not adharma. Number 7, seek inner peace, not just outer comfort. Science and technology give you comfort, but only spiritual wisdom gives fulfillment. And I'm sure you all know the difference between knowledge and wisdom. High living does not mean high thinking. Choose a life of truth, not just luxury. Number 8, use this life well. This life is a divine chance. Do not waste it in small pleasures or endless worries. Walk the path of dharma. Use your time to grow, serve, reflect, and realize the eternal truth. The essence: live with honesty, serve with love, reflect in silence, and seek the truth within. Let Dharma be your foundation and the Gita your daily light. Then, step by step, you shall rise from confusion to clarity, from sorrow to peace, and from manhood to godhood. This is the way a jiva must live to lead a truly spiritual life. I will conclude here. Om Purnamadaha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.